All right, biology. Today we are going to look at genotype versus phenotype. Usually I give these notes and give a little more time for them. But today I'm just going to give you guys some of the basics and talk about the notes, and you can always review them on Google Classroom. First off, I want to review genes are. Genes are the basic units of heredity. You can always pause this video as you go. Each chromosome contains many genes that code for different traits. So remember, you looked at your inventory of traits yesterday, and you guys chose what traits you had and which ones you don't. I will be giving you guys more detail, more data tomorrow to actually figure out what the class is like and compare your information. But today, just know that each gene has two traits, has a trait on each side. Okay, so you have two types of traits for two different alleles for each thing. Okay. All sexually reproducing organisms have two copies of every gene, one from the mother and one from the father. Each variety of gene is called an allele. So that's what I just said. So you always get one allele from your mom and one allele from your dad. Okay, so what you have is a combination of the both. Okay. So they're kind of like committee members. They all sit around and they all decide what you're going to look like. So your genotype is kind of the actual instructions that you get. Okay, so the genotype would be the actual allele that you get from your mom or from your dad. Okay, now when those genotypes come together, they make decisions. They make decisions on what you're going to look like. Okay, so some of these alleles are dominant. Okay, they take over. They're like in charge. Okay, so they're like the in charge alleles. Okay, and they're usually shown with capital letters. So if you have a dominant allele, usually the dominant allele is what you see in your trait. Sometimes your parents will give you recessive alleles, and they're hidden usually, okay? And they're only shown if you only have recessive alleles. So for example, if you have two recessive alleles, you will actually have the recessive trait. We usually use lowercase letters to show that. What you get, in the end, what you see, what your trait actually is your phenotype. So a combination of different alleles can give different types of phenotypes, okay? Now, if both of those alleles that we have are the same, we call them homozygous. And that means that we either have two lowercase or two uppercase, or two dominant or two recessive. We call those homozygous dominant and homozygous recessive. Okay, lots of big words here today. I understand. We're going to have lots of time to practice. Now, if they're different, we call that heterozygous. Okay, so that means you'll have one dominant and one recessive. And each one of these different genotypes, that being a combination of two alleles, two letters, if you will, they can make different phenotypes or different looks that they get. Okay. So I want you to take a look, some of these practice here. Take a look and practice some of these and predict what they are. I'm going to give you some practice today on how to look at these and some practice, some genotype, phenotype practice. Take a look at that. Please join me for office hours today at 1. If you couldn't do that, I also have our office hours on Friday at 1 as well. All right, guys. Hope you guys have a good day. Shoot me any questions you have through my email. See you later.